Hello, viewers. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending on what part of the country and what time of the day you're listening to this to me right now. I'm Dr. Austin Oseke, a family physician and the presenter at the Century Talk Show. We have done a series of health talk shows on various health conditions that people have found so interesting and been getting wonderful feedbacks from them. So it just occurred to me that hypertension is something I would like to relay to you because there are some very important thing about it that a lot of people are making mistake about that needs to be corrected. Unfortunately, even among the experts, all over, they don't realize this fact. And I just want to point it out to you because I stumbled across a particular information from a reputable body of medical experts coming together to adopt this view of mine, because it's not uncommon that the patient comes to me or anybody at all after checking their BPs. They say, "Doctor, please, what is even the normal BP? I'm confused. I hear this, I hear that, and all that." Before now, 120/80 is what has been taken to be normal, but I'm going to shock you with the new information. Even that 120/80 is elevated BP. It doesn't qualify to be called hypertension or high blood pressure, no, but it's just elevated, and it doesn't mean that you should be panicking or anything. Let me share this screen so you could get what I'm trying to pass across. I hope I'm not going to have issues with this screen I'm trying to share, because a lot of times I've tried to share some screens and I don't seem to, oh my goodness. Let's go to the, okay. Let me just share my screen all the same. I go to my PowerPoint. Was I able to? We have Century Talk Show video. Oh my goodness, I'm not prepared for this. Looks like okay. Let me just go to PowerPoint straight away. So maybe that will come up. Okay, I think I got what I was looking for. So I'll go ahead and share. And I believe you can all see what I'm looking at now. Okay. Don't let your BP pressure erupt. Before I discuss this slide, I'll go to the next one and show you where this slide is coming from. I'm not getting a response, okay? This slide is a product of Association or American College of Cardiology / American Heart Association Task Force on Clinical Practice Guidelines. Okay, 2017, November 13. That's about 5 years ago, less than 5 years, I would say. If you look, there are other associations, AAPA / ABC, ACPM, AGS, APHA, ASH, ASPC, NMA, I would say Nigerian Medical Association, PCNA, guidelines for the prevention, detection, evaluation, and management of high blood pressure in adults. It's a report of the American College of Cardiology. / American Heart Association Task Force on Clinical Practice Guidelines. And I think is still the current one. Okay. Sorry, let's go back to the slide. And this, what I just finished reading to you is what you see at the bottom of this, and I'm going to read to you. And what is it saying? I also start from the bottom. Normal blood pressure is not 120/80. I'm sure it's a shocker. 120/80, no. Less than 120/80 for the systolic and less than 80 for the diastolic. It is not Dr. Austin that is saying this. It is association. It is the American College of Cardiologists. Okay, they are the ones saying this, plus other associations all over the world, the best brains when it comes to determining what normal blood pressure is. When your blood pressure is 120/80, it doesn't mean you're in trouble. It doesn't mean it is too high and all that. It only shows that it is taking the first step into what we call high elevated blood pressure. Okay, as you can see, 120/80 is accommodated here between 120 to 129 as systolic, and still less than 80, of course. So here will be the point of focus. Once it is this, it is elevated blood pressure, provided your diastolic is less than 80. Okay, I hope you get that. Here is it again. I will repeat it because you shouldn't get confused. You can send this video to your doctors, to your nurses, to your paramedics, to your pharmacists, to all that. I want everybody to know this from today. It is not from Dr. Austin. It is from the world respected body of heart doctors, of blood pressure doctors, okay? And this they came up with. Why am I saying this? I have consistently seen some posts, and I'm going to show you the slide. People share this slide all over on the internet trying to describe, I don't know what body came up with this, but this is what you find on the internet, trying to separate what normal BP is for every individual as per age, and sometimes even sex is included, okay? And when you follow this pattern, you find out that the range does not agree with what I've seen among very healthy people. It has not been consistent. For instance, someone aged 60 to 64 years is told to accommodate BP as high as 147/91. Please, if this person is, based on his age, is found to have BP like this, like I said, is not a thing to really worry about, but it's still a thing to be concerned about, because we are talking about prevention here. Prevention. This person may not qualify for serious hypertensive situation, but he qualifies to be looked at for prevention. Okay, there is a scenario, a situation where people, you know, associate with old age, which is sexual performance and all that. They say when you are getting old, you cannot perform very well the way you are young. I disagree. I beg to disagree. The same thing happening here. When your BP is rising, yes, it's agreed that yes, as you get older, your blood vessel gets stiffer, but it's not because of your old age. It's because as you get older, you think that thing that is lying on the fridge or television, somebody else needs to pick it for you. For you to go and have your bath, somebody else has to take your water to the bathroom. Okay, you don't need to drive because you're old and all that. And you do not know. Let me also say that retirement is what is recommended for people of this at this category. When you start reducing your activity, what do you think is happening to your system? You are destroying your system, and that shouldn't be taken as normal. Please, it's not normal. Why am I saying this? I've seen people in my facility that are quite elderly, 80, 90, and yet they have BP of 110, 70, 100, 60, 100, 70. So even some of them 90, 60. I know my age, I'm well above 40, approaching 50, and I can tell you at my age right now, most times my BP, when I'm most healthy and I'm very health conscious and I'm full of energy and I'm vibrant, my BP is usually around 90, 60, 160, 170. So, but going by this graph now, looking at my age range, I want to disclose my age until I hit a milestone, is somewhere around here. Okay, let's even take somewhere around this place. You want to tell me that I should accommodate 140, 90? No. I'm not going to do that. Okay, so please, I want us to share this information. The healthier you are, the lower your BP. Okay, if you find your BP rising due to your increase in age, it's due to those unhealthy things that you do. A lot of people take alcohol, a lot of people eat what they like. Like, it is a culture in some people, among some people, that elderly people eat the most meat, the proteinaceous foods. Like in some cultures, you see, when they give one piece of meat to children, like youths and all that, they give like 4 or 5 to the elderly people. So also even outside the country, among the whites, people don't pay attention to so many things that could be affecting their BP, and they have taken it as normal. So I'm presenting to you. You can go and do your own research, because I found this and I'm happy that it is here. Let me go further to explain this graph. As you can see, high blood pressure starts from 130, okay, to 139. Or let's just say above 130 for the systolic, and for the diastolic, above 80. In fact, it's 80 and above. In other words, your diastolic at 80 can still fall under elevated, okay? Yes, because less than is only the systolic that is allowed to go to this point. Now, at this point, you could, that's between 20 and 120 and 129, you start paying attention to your health, okay? Try to see those things that are changing in your life. The food, your activity, your state of mind. Of course, responsibilities are beginning to increase. Challenges are coming, you're married, children are going to school, concerns are there, they are piling up. All these things should not translate to normal. You just need to check all those things. Make sure that your mind is fine. Make sure that you are stable, you are calm, and you are aware that you could be affecting your health when all these things are happening. But let me also state that it's not in all situations where you have elevated blood pressure, it means all things are bad. I'll give you some good examples here. When you are excited, yes, you should have momentary elevation of blood pressure. When you're excited, you have rights to have elevated blood pressure. For instance, somebody's going to give me some money and it is in millions of dollars, as I know somebody is planning to give me now. I have some kind of excitement. So there is sudden gush of blood within my system, release of adrenaline, release of some hormones. The blood vessels are like, wow, giving me enough energy and supply to be able to jump and yell and express So for that purpose, my BP can momentarily go up. Of course, when you are active, like sports person, If I take a sprint from here, I take like 100-meter sprint now. In fact, my BP can go as high as 100 and 200 over 100 when I take a sprint. You know, racing, yes, but that is not to remain so when I'm calm. Of course, when I'm worried and I'm disturbed and a lot of things are happening to my heart, okay? Of course, there are some infections affecting your kidneys and all that. There's a way they translate to high blood pressure. When they are treated, there's a way they calm down. When you're anxious, you can see somehow all these things are interrelated. It's also important for you to know that as things are happening, excitement and all that, disease, whatever, that are momentarily raising your blood pressure, they also have effect on your blood sugar. Yes. Insulin is being, not insulin, sorry, glucagon. Glucagon is the hormone that is being released, and it causes your sugar to increase, just as adrenaline is also released into your blood to raise your BP. So also you can have elevated blood sugar levels. These are momentary. These are just to enable your system to have enough energy and enough blood supply to carry out the activities. That is why it is advised when you want to check your blood pressure, it should be in the morning when you just wake up, no anxiety, no worries, nothing is disturbing you, you are calm. That is the best time to check your blood pressure. Let me also say that there's been an argument, a controversy about where you take your blood pressure. It's been said that the best time to take your blood pressure is, the best place rather, is home. We've discussed the best time, like I said, morning, but home is the place you get your best blood pressure. There is what we call white coat hypertension. There are people who, the moment they cite a medical expert or a professional about taking their blood pressure, they have this anxiety. There's a sudden jerk within them, and that startles them a bit, even though they might cover it up, and some of them will deny it. No, I'm okay, I'm calm, there's no worries, but something is running in their minds. Oh, I hope this BP is not going to be high. I hope this lady is not going to be reporting high blood pressure to me and all that. So there is this, in fact, at that point, if they were thinking of anything else, that thing suddenly disappears from their mind. What they are focused on is the BP, the outcome of the BP. It happens to anyone. Even to me, it has happened to me. My staff wants to check my BP, and I'm like, oh, I just hope this is not going to mess me up with an elevated high BP. Suddenly, my heart is beating. So no one is really immune to this, except you have a very strong mind and can really disengage from your mind, okay? So having said that, it is important that I mention, I think I've told you, home BP, but we've not been able to successfully arrive at that, because most people have this digital BP apparatus that they use to measure their BPs at home, but they are not the standard means. So I think it's still a working development for us to find how to be able to check our BPs when we are at home at the most calm situation. And that's where we can determine the best BP and the right and correct BPs. Okay. Having said that, I want to briefly talk about health generally. When your BP is elevated, it's a sign that something is wrong in your system. And if it is not a momentary elevation like I've described earlier, if it is an elevation that is taking place even when you are calm, you're not thinking of anything bad and all that, then it's a sign. It might be the first sign that you're beginning to develop some health issues, and it's time to really do general checkup to check your system, what your habits, try to know what you're doing wrong or right. There are some other signs that will tell you something is beginning to go the negative direction. You feel a little bit heavier than your normal self. You don't have that freeness, that lightness that is the normal you, is a signal that something might be wrong with you. Go for checkup or check your habit. If you have been eating too much, or you have been abusing alcohol, or you've been taking too much of soft drinks, or you've been eating heavily, you know that that is beginning to take a toll on your health. So also if you notice your activity is low, then you know, please, you have to go back to do exercise. By the way, exercise is a life saving activity. So engage in it. Of course, if you know you're not feeling that happy, but you can't explain why you're not happy, your mood is just down. But things are moving, business is moving, everything, but you just notice you're not that happy. Just know that blood supply to that center that makes you fine is getting reduced. So your system is suffering from something. It might just be at the very early stage. It might even be that when you do medical tests, they will still say you're fine. But that's just to tell you, please check yourself. How have you been doing? When last did you do exercise? Ask yourself, when last did I do exercise? Maybe this is a call to action to go for exercise. Of course, high blood sugar levels that cannot be explained, high BP level that cannot be explained. Then also eating for no good reason. You find yourself eating, your appetite just suddenly comes up and you feel like eating this, you feel like eating that. Also, you know at that point, you're not that happy. It feels like maybe when I eat what I like to eat, I'll be happier. You know, all those things are games, there are activities going on in our subconscious existence, our subconscious mind. So having said that, I want to thank you for listening. In order not to take too much of your time, you can pause this while watching this video and look at other areas like high blood pressure. The real stage 1 hypertension starts from 130 to 139, diastolic 80 to 89. And high blood pressure stage 2 hypertension, 140 and above, or 90 and above. Okay, then hypertensive crisis, which is the point where stroke can happen, is above 180 and above 180 and above 120. So a lot of people need emergent attention here. You need to rush this person to the hospital. And if it is a non-hypertensive patient who has some drugs they are taking, I notice they've not been taking it for a while, it's time to first and foremost take these drugs so that they avoid stroke that may happen at this point. But not many people suffer stroke at this level, okay? There could even be stroke at a lower level when there are concurrent or other conditions going on in the system. For instance, if someone who is diabetic has high blood pressure, the person can suffer stroke from 140 to 90. You understand? Diabetes can also lead to stroke. So thank you so much for listening. Once again, I'm Dr. Austin. I'll be glad if you can share this information to everybody around you. Of course, we are trying to help ourselves and make us live long. If you have any question, feel free to post on the channel. Thank you so much. Do have a very wonderful day. So, bye-bye.